Hello, my lovely friends. I just got back from shopping. I needed some things to prepare for the weekend, but I figured you always see me in pajamas, in leggings and stuff. I'm just like, you know what? Time to show off that I actually clean up. When I leave the house, I actually, have my hair brushed, I have earrings in, necklace, clean clothing, so I don't always look like a disheveled beast. I always look kind of like a bag lady, but only because I love comfort. I actually bought myself two pair of sweats today. One of them was 6XL and the other one was 7XL. And the Game of Thrones shirt, it was, I think, 6 or 7XL. I'm preparing for winter. I'm like a bear. So instead of going on a hibernation sleep, I'm going on a hibernation. Hibernation. My type of hibernation is getting into comfortable sweats from probably about, mid-October till probably early February. I'm going to be in sweats. I'm going to be in sweatpants, sweaters, sweat jackets. I may even wear, beanies around the house. I'm preparing for a long winter, and it's going to be snuggle time for me because I love snuggling with my husband, obviously, and I love to be snuggled into my clothing as well. Comfort. Very important for a big girl like me. Comfort. Hello, my lovely friend. It is 18 after 8. I am actually having a diet Coca-Cola cherry. I try very hard to stay away from sodas, and I do drink a lot of water, but like most soda drinkers, I sometimes have the urge to have a cold Coke. And since I'm diabetic, I cannot have regular Coke. So I try to drink, water or Coke Zero, cherry diet Coke, or any diet products. Of course, it's not very healthy. But I had a day, so I figured, you know what, I deserve something. I don't smoke. I rarely ever drink. Every once in a while, like a glass of, Prosecco, or, some, maybe some ginger wine, the wine that you heat up on the stove like every 5 years or so. I literally am not drinking, and I don't have a lot of outlets in my life, but I wanted to share with you guys what my day was like today, and I'm just like, I have it up till here. It's gone. My mind is gone, and I'm just gonna say F it and have myself a Coke. Anyway, story time. Maybe I will always use Thursdays as my story time outlet. Maybe Thursdays will be story time. That doesn't really fit with the letter. It would be better be Saturday story time. Sunday story time. I don't know, Thursday tell a tale. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still working on having a regular schedule and stuff, and I don't make any money off any of my videos, and I only have like 3 subscribers, so I'm not I don't feel like this pressure yet to perform, on a regular basis, but I try to take this serious and be creative, but I am going to tell you guys now what happened today. Anyway, about 7 days ago, 7 days ago, me and my husband and I, you shouldn't be starting a sentence with me. It's more like my husband and I um, came down the stairs. And as we were coming down the stairs, I decided to mess with him and just kind of like punch him very lightly into the stomach. Like, I'm not abusive. We don't abuse each other at all, but we try to, like, tease each other a little bit, He would probably, smack me on the hiney, and then I smack him on the hiney, and we tickle each other just like most spouses do, you know? He was closer than I anticipated, so I punched him in his testicles. So I'm just thinking to myself, holy shit, my sex life is over completely now. Then of course, when you hurt like this, you kind of like, you cower, you're like, oh shit. In his mind, he's probably thinking, why did I marry this woman? Then, he just rests a little bit, but, he's in pain. He was in medium pain all week. And being the wife that I am, and, health conscious, all week long, I tried to get him to go to the urologist just to make sure there's nothing damaged inside. I mean, I didn't punch him fully. It was more just one of those, like this, very lightly, like, I was trying to play with his stomach. My husband has this cute little Santa Claus belly, like almost like this grandpa belly, and I like it. I think it's very cute and adorable. And I love my husband, but my husband doesn't like going to the doctor. Growing up, he didn't go to the doctor very often, obviously. He grew up in the States where, there's no universal health insurance, and a lot of the times you have to pay for medical procedures. And so his, grandparents, I guess, always told him, going to the doctor for any little thing is wasteful, which is understandable if you have to pay it out of pocket, obviously. And I guess his grandmother was also didn't like going to the doctor in general, even when there was something must. His grandfather, I think, did go to the doctor for regular checkups, but they were tough people. They were tough people, just like my grandparents were tough. They were people that grew up during war times. They were young adults during the wartime. So they learned to have less, and they learned to deal with things. It's not like today where you have a little problem and you're like, I'm triggered. And, I understand. I have full understanding for people. Yes, I get triggered too quite a lot of the times. But back then, you had so much stress and so much problems on your mind that you didn't really think of, being triggered. You just had to kind of swallow your problems. And of course, obviously, it destroyed a lot of old people back then, mentally and stuff. So my husband doesn't like going to the doctor before I lose my drift again and drift off into la la land with some story about something. So it took me now 7 days to talk him into going to a urologist. And finally today, I had it. I'm like, it's been 7 days. We talked about going to the hospital last week to urgent care to get it looked at. He didn't really want to do that, which I can understand. I hate going to those places too, because it doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel nice. Obviously, nobody wants to go, to urgent care, to emergency room. It's stupid. It's not nice. So today I had it. I was on the phone with my mother for an hour and a half discussing some family plans, and my mother had some concerns about some situations. So I pretty much, after talking to my mother for an hour and a half about issues and plans, she wants to go away for her birthday next year. I was already, I was already till here. And then my husband kept, yeah, I don't want to go to the doctor, but I'm in a lot of pain. And I don't want to go to the doctor, but I'm in a lot of pain. I'm just, are you going to call the urologist. You're going to make an appointment now. I'm sick and tired of this. This can have, what if you really injured it? What if there is something wrong with it in the first place? And me lightly just kind of punching it, it caused the problem to get worse. And finally, this evening, he decided to go to a urologist. And, of course, I came with him. I went with him because I love my husband very much and I don't want him to feel uncomfortable. And I know how it is going to a gynecologist, which is like the, girl doctor, and he went to the boy doctor. It's horrible. You kind of like exposed. It doesn't feel very nice. So he had an ultrasound done, and it turned out his nuts, his testicles are absolutely fine, and he just basically maybe has I guess a tissue damage. Like it's nothing serious. It's hurt. It's like when you get kicked in the nuts. I guess it takes a while for it to be healed. But I'm like, that was my day. I don't know what was more nerving, more hard. Taking my husband to the urologist, somebody that absolutely hates doctors, or I'm talking to my mother today and trying to make plans. And I'm just like, my mind is not well right now. I don't know if if I can make plans right now. I'm thinking about my husband. I'm thinking about everything else in the world. But I stayed on target. We made some plans. We came to some decisions. And then, take my husband to the urologist. And the urologist that kind of looks like my sister-in-law. So I'm just like, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. And then we leave the urologist, and he turns around like in the elevator, and he kind of goes, "See, I told you I didn't have to go." And I'm just like, I want to just punch you again. And I'm like, you complained for 7 days straight. I worry about you. I want you to go. And then he's like, oh, I never tell people to go to the doctor. Well, I don't tell random people to go to the doctor either. I don't walk to my neighbor and says, hey, time for you to go see the dermatologist, or time for you to see the podiatrist, the dentist, whatever. I tell my husband to go to the doctor when I see that there's a problem. And I'm like, if I have a problem, if there's something going on with me, my husband has every right in the world to be like, hey, it's, you need to go see somebody. You need to see a dermatologist. You need to see a dentist. Lucky for me, I go to the dentist at least once a year, and also I go to the gynecologist once a year. So these issues, there are no issues. But I'm sure there's other doctors I should be going to, which I'm avoiding too. Like I don't go to the diabetes doctor very often. I'm type 1 diabetic, which is different than type 2. Type 2 is basically like age and weight. Age and weight are the reasons for getting it. And I am type 1, which is like an autoimmune disease. A lot of children get it between the ages of 7 and 8. This is usually when type 1 gets diagnosed. But there is a small amount of people that develop this disease later in life. And I was one of the lucky people that was like in your early 30s. Hey, your pancreas doesn't work anymore. Insulin dependent. Yay, congrats, you're part of the team. So I'm like, tell me if I have to go, sweetheart. But he was not happy. He was not happy with me today, because he had to expose himself, obviously, in front of the doctor. She grabbed the hold of his junk and did this ultrasound, and he probably was just thinking in his mind, my wife sucks. But I always think to myself, it's better to have something checked out than in the end have something wrong. And I tried to explain to him that. And while we were there, we made another appointment for a prostate exam and also for a testosterone level a checkup, just to check things, because a lot of these checkups you can find things out. And of course, he didn't like that. He's like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to do that. Like and I'm like, I'm trying to make him understand, we are doing early detection to avoid problems because cancer is no laughing matter. My brother died due to cancer. He, by the time they found out he had cancer, it was really, really, I think he maybe was already stage 2 or 3. And he was dead within about, I think, maybe a year and a half. So it's no joking matter for me. It's no joking matter. It's not one of those things where you just can be like, oh yeah, I'll just wait another year. I'll just wait another 6 months. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not. It's not. It's a horrible disease that kills people in a very short time. So the only thing you can do is early detections. Get yourself checked. Ladies, get your pap done. Gentlemen, get your prostate exams done. Get your blood tests done. Make sure your health is in check. Don't ignore things. And of course, he was not happy with me when we left there, and he had, now is looking forward to another appointment in 2 weeks. And I could be, be like, okay, sweetheart, you're right. This is okay. You don't have to do this. But I'm like, no, I don't care. Leave me, divorce me. I'm saving your life. If you are so mad at me for wanting you to go to a prostate exam, fine, whatever. I don't care. I'd rather have a person I love be alive and not with me than dead. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am. I always rather see somebody. I'd rather have somebody angry at me and then be alive than they die. It's no. It's it's not. It's absolutely no. It's unacceptable for me. Of course, many people would be like, oh, who cares? Who cares? This is too controlling, too invasive. And I'm like, you are supposed to be your partner's team member. And if I'm sitting there and I'm doing something really stupid, I want my husband to be like, you know what? You're diabetic. Should you really be having two pieces of cake? You're diabetic. Should you really be having 2 glasses of wine or something like that? I rarely ever drink, but sometimes I have Prosecco. Or, he knows I get really sick when I have McDonald's because it's just so high in carb. And he tells me, hey, how about just have a 6 piece of chicken nugget? Because that doesn't make you really sick. It starts after, if I push it, if I push the amount I eat. Nothing against McDonald's. One of our girls actually works at McDonald's full time, so I don't mind the company and I don't mind the food, but it makes me sick. So I want my husband to tell me not to eat these things, to be on my team. He did come in and apologize and says thank you for caring for me, but my patience level was already gone at that point. My patience level was already gone, and I'm like, I'm tired. I need like cherry a cherry Coke Zero. I don't know what it is. I guess it's a cherry Coca-Cola Zero sugar, a cherry Coke, Diet Cherry Coke. I don't know. I guess it's Diet Cherry Coke. And I'm still recovering from this stupid cold. So I'm just like, people need to just give me a break this evening.